Hey everybody, and welcome to CC 402 for summer of 2019. My name is Dr. Lisa Tuning and I am your instructor for this course. The purpose of this video is to just go over the syllabus with you briefly and run you through our Canvas shell, although I do recommend that you read the syllabus in its entirety and take some time to play around in the Canvas course shell before we officially start class on Monday. So CC402 is a class that covers all the basics of external communication. So for your corporate communication degree, we really designed it around an internal-external communication split. So corporate communication is the way that organizations communicate and build relationships with their stakeholders in order to create shared meaning. Internal communication, which is CC401, covers the basics of internal and employee communication. External communication is how how organizations communicate with external stakeholders. So that can be customers, donors, it can be stockholders, it can be audiences that they're trying to reach who are not yet stakeholders. These are all different ways, and you're very familiar with all of the tactics that we'll talk about in this class, such as narrative building, media releases, media kits. Maybe actually you're not too familiar with that. Social media, online websites, brochures, mailers, events, and so on. So you're all pretty familiar with that, but now you're going to learn a little bit more about what they are, why they're important, and how to create them yourself. And so we're fitting a lot into 6 weeks because this is a very important class in your whole major. So I'm really trying to give you the same experience that you would get in the 16-week semester, not cutting out too much, but just like shifting things around and maybe trimming some things so that it fits into a 6-week course. So it'll be a lot of work, but when you leave, you'll have a you'll leave with an online portfolio full of work samples that you can show potential employers when you go on interviews. So just to kind of show you around, I have everything set up in the module view. So what you're looking at right now is the home page, and it's also the module view. So there's some general information at the top. We do have a class client for whom we'll be preparing all of our materials this summer, and that is Penn State University, Penn State Abington's Strategic Communications Department. So this is some background information about them, some resources for you to use as you create your projects. These are some CC402 need to knows, so APA style. Anytime we write an extended paper, it's in APA style, and then just some information about our discussion forum policies. And then everything else you can see is divided up by week. So in every week you'll have 2 to 3 discussions or activities, and labeled as such, and a lesson. This is the only reading that is not in the book. So there's this PDF in week 1. Every other reading comes from your textbook, which you can get online. You can rent it. You can get it from the bookstore. You can rent it from the bookstore. There's a lot of different options for you. And it is a little more than I would want. Actually, I wish like everything was free, right? But I've heard from a lot of students that this is actually a textbook that they keep and reference in the future. So hopefully it'll be worth the investment for you. And so for discussion forums, you're probably familiar. This is the first one. It's a personal introduction. And you just go in, and to reply to someone, you hit the reply. Of course, my internet is not working. This is a great discussion. So this is just an introductory discussion. Your other discussions, I'm going to ask you, they're kind of a way that I can check that you're doing the reading and engaging with the readings. So your other readings ask you to include a quote from, your other discussions ask you to include a quote from the reading and then respond to 2 classmates. And you are supposed to respond in this one too. And I give you word length and guidelines in this discussion forum related policies. And so you can see it just goes, oh, and then the lessons often complement the book. So I say to you, listen to the lesson first, because I'll cover, in most cases, the general topics. Sometimes I'll add additional information that's not in the book, but I'll say, for more details on this, go to pages like 20 to 25 in your text. So that might give you a more streamlined way to approach reading the text, because I'll give you specific page numbers to correspond to what we're talking about.
Welcome to week 1.
Okay,
This week we are
and
laying the
so
groundwork
you
for
can see here, and
understanding
if you'd
what
rather
external
read
communication
it,
is, why it is important, and how it fits into corporate
there's
communication.
notes.
We'll
So that's how the
this
lessons work.
building.
And they range from 15 to 30 minutes. Nothing is longer than that. Okay, and then that's it for your weekly assignments. You'll just go through all 6 weeks. Oh, the internet is so slow today. Goodness. I don't know if it's Canvas or the internet, but something. And then down at the bottom, you'll see a bunch of your larger assignments, and we'll go over them on the syllabus in a second. But these are outside of the module, so they have their own specific due dates. So you're going to create a campaign outline for strategic comms. Then you're going to choose 2 options out of media release, media kit, online materials, and a controlled media deliverable. So there's 4 options. You only have to choose 2 of the supporting materials, but everybody creates the campaign. And then your supporting materials support your campaign. And then your final project is to make revisions to all of the materials that you hand in throughout the semester, your campaign and your 2 supporting materials. So I'll recommend revisions. You'll make them or not for your final portfolio, but you do have to write a brief essay talking about drafting and why you did or didn't make the revisions to the portfolio pieces. I'll teach you how to create an online portfolio if you don't already know how to do so, and you'll create one, and then you'll upload all those final pieces to the portfolio. And then there's also a paper that asks you specific questions about external communication that you would put on your portfolio under a reflections tab. And that is basically the course. It'll all make more sense, as we're going through it. Now it's just a lot of information, but I want you to know it's there. Okay, so syllabus, it's here in text, but since we seem to be having trouble scrolling in a timely manner, I'm just going to go ahead and open the syllabus. Okay, so my email information is here. I don't have any set office hours during the summer, but you can email me and we can set up office hours, or we can meet during via Zoom, or we can meet on campus as well. Either one is totally fine with me. Our week runs from Monday morning at 12:01 a.m. to Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. So all of your assignments are due on Sundays at 11:59, except for your final portfolio, which is due after the semester ends. That I think I made it Wednesday at midnight. So everything else is just Sunday by midnight. Here's the course goals and stuff. You can go over those, but I kind of touched on what the course is about. Here's the assignment breakdown. Again, I already talked about that. Weekly assignments and discussions, your campaign outline, your campaign material, which is a choose 2 out of 4, and then your final portfolio and reflections. And everything is worth 20%. So the final project is 20, campaign outline is 20, each supporting material is 20, and all of your online discussions and activities together is 20. So there you have it. This is not a required work schedule, but it's a recommended work schedule because things in the summer get kind of crazy, right? So 6 weeks is not a lot of time to finish a course. It's actually 6.5 because we go past it for the final project. So this is just a way, it could seem overwhelming, and it will be overwhelming if you leave it all for Saturday and Sunday. But if you have time to do a little bit each day, do that. Otherwise, you could see I have Monday and Tuesday both set aside for reading. If you just set aside 2 hours, you could get that done in one day. Again, first discussion, post activity, discussion, post activity. Again, you could do those all in probably 20 minutes or 30 minutes on any given day. And then you have 2 or 3 days to work ahead. So it is manageable. It's a lot, but it's manageable. You just have to pace yourself. Or again, if you're working 5 days a week because it's summer, or 6 days a week because it's summer, then just set aside, I would say 5 to 6 hours on that final day, and or maybe 6 to 7, and do it then. But that's about what I think the workload is for this course. So maybe a little bit more because we are crushed into the summer. But yes, if you look at it like this, you can figure out a way for it to be a little bit more manageable. Again, I have the default set to the module view for the course. So I know a lot of people like to use the assignment view in Canvas, but then you'll miss on the module view, everything is lumped together per week. So if you have a reading from outside of the text like you do for this week, then it's in the module. And if you don't go to the module view, you won't see it. The lessons are in the module view. You won't see them if you're not there. The assignment view is a great way to double check that you're making all your assignments, but definitely use the module view. There's also going to be 2 optional Zoom conference calls, one in week 3 and one in week 5. So I will be putting out a poll to see like approximate times that work for people, and then I'll schedule them out. And you don't have to come, but it'll be a great time to kind of like see other people, to talk synchronously with each other and with me. And I'll just be going over the main concepts that we're covering, giving my own, just another little talk on them, as well as clarifying any questions that you might have. So stay tuned for scheduling those. And then course policies. The weekly discussions and activities, those ones that are in the module, they are due by 11:59 on Sunday, and I don't take any late. Each one isn't worth that much, so if you miss one, it's not that big of a deal. And it's not worth either one of us getting behind trying to make up work. It's just like if you miss it, it's done. Your major assignments, on the other hand, your campaign and your 2 supporting materials, those I will take late, because they're each one of them is worth the same as all the discussions, right? So I don't want your grade to take a hit if you have to hand something in a day or two late. So you will get some points deducted, but I'll still take it, and any points are better than no points. Communication, please communicate with me through Canvas. That way it doesn't get lost in my webmail. You can also set up your Canvas mail to forward to your webmail, so that way you get it in 2 places so you don't miss anything. Also, I will be sending out weekly announcements to kind of like introduce each week. So look for those in the announcements section and also in your email. And that's it. The rest of the syllabus talks about different resources we have. There is our academic honesty policy, so I definitely encourage you to read that. Then there is statement on harassment, assault, and discrimination. So there's a lot of resources there. Disability services and accommodations, also resources there if you qualify for a disability. If you have a disability that qualifies for accommodations such as extra time, or although nothing in here is timed, so I don't know, but there might be other accommodations. So if you have the documentation of your disability, see Heather Von Brackle, Tiffany Ostrowski, and her contact information is on there, and then she can supply you with documentation that you can share with me. And then the Learning Center is if you are interested in any type of tutoring, and even if you're a strong writer, going to the Learning Center to polish your assignments can be very helpful. And then finally, this is our course schedule, so just a week-by-week breakdown of what we're doing. And so again, there are a lot of chapters each week, but the chapters tend not to be long. They have like a lot of pictures and text boxes, so it's not just like straight reading. And also, if you view the lessons first and then take my page recommendations to go back in and read the text for more details, that can cut down on your reading time too. And so that is basically it. That is our class for this summer. I'm really looking forward to getting to knowing everybody. If you have any questions, just reach out via email. Have a good weekend, and I will see you on Monday. I won't see you, but I'll see you in the course show on Monday.